Hey everyone, this is Roger Kennis in regards to the 2017 Las Vegas mass shooting at Mandalay Bay and the adjacent festival. I have one question and a couple statements to make, actually. Um, the main question is, Mr. Robert Eglett, since the media won't ask you, why in 9 years have you never reached out to me to inquire about the video evidence showing that the 32-135 window was shot out 16 minutes before the current police report timeline says? Why has the LVMPD and the FBI failed to interview me, take a witness statement, or collect video evidence? We all know why MGM wants to get rid of the records, close out the settlement, because you told everyone back in 2020 the settlement was done. We expect no further appeals, no other claims, blah, blah, blah. Except you didn't count on my case getting as far as it has, with MGM in technical default now for fraud upon the court. They've failed to answer. They've lost. Other than the court reviewing that my medical records that were sabotaged are now in the court case, and that MGM concealed and omitted their partnership that extended the property line, and that it was foreseeable because they knowingly had a no weapons policy, failed to screen for weapons, allowing this act, which could have been prevented had they screened him at the front entrances. He couldn't have shot from the tower, and even if he shot down on the ground, he wouldn't have been able to transition the weapons fast enough before somebody tackled him or shot him. Not as many people would have died. Lives could have been saved. It was foreseeable and preventable. And we both know this. And I've reached out to your office numerous times. You've been attached on my filings in the district court over the last 7 years now, following what I'm saying. And not once have you reached out. So is it not a professional negligence issue or breach of fiduciary duty for you to have not properly investigated my claims, my video? MGM has not disputed my video other than the fact that they claim, well, that's not the timeline the police report says. Well, no shit. While MGM was paying off Lombardo and McMahill through campaign finance, using 31 of their subsidiaries, they're not acting independent. Their own freaking corporate structure, governance structure, indicates that they are not acting as separate entities. They are able to ban people from all their properties. All their employees fall under the code of conduct. They acknowledge that weapons and explosives are a threat on their various properties. They knew about various shootings, stabbings, other incidents on various properties, including Mandalay Bay, including the Dunbar incident. So how do you guys were y'all not able to put together a case to beat MGM? Instead, y'all took the easy fucking route out, took the easy money. You charged everybody 30, 40, some people have told me even more money without going to trial, which is very improper. And now you guys aren't even going to stand up and object when MGM is trying to close the case right as they're in default, and any judgment in my case that there was fraud would apply to the other victims, and they would be able to resue not only MGM but you guys and their lawyers for malpractice or breach of fiduciary duties. You had a duty to maximize their damages, and instead you looked out for your own damn interest, and you're looking out actually for MGM's because y'all have a mutually aligned interest in making this case go away. I'm here to tell you, I've put you on notice. You guys walk in there and try to, I already know you're going to go ahead and try to tell the judge I have no standing. I do have standing. I absolutely have standing to tell the court that y'all are committing fraud upon all the other claimants. Two, I could potentially have a trial coming up and the discovery of those records and calling people to testify about how they've been treated in this case and their damages, and looking at the expert testimony in those records, all the data logs, communications in between, how y'all determine damages, how y'all suppress damages to stay within that 800 million line and reduce damages for people. But how much money you guys also took out of that pot or might get out of that pot later on if it gets closed out. You guys are trying to permanently close the record so it can never be audited again and the court loses jurisdiction and can't be sued for fraud later on by the victims. So it benefits MGM and the lawyers. It does nothing to benefit the other victims to get rid of the records. And you also have a duty to retain records, I believe 5 to 7 years roughly. So you guys are sitting here acting like y'all have done nothing wrong. How about you walk into court and just fucking admit what you guys did and why you did it, accept blame like men. You failed. You got beat by some dumb jarhead fucking crayon eating motherfucker like me that you thought would never make it to the end of this court case. Plain and simple. And not one in the media, after you guys have threatened the media and you have tried to intimidate victims, non-disclosures. Oh, we'll come after you. Well, when you're covering up a crime, those non-disclosures fucking go away. You know, you guys are acting like scumbag fucking lawyers. And I don't think all of you are, but a handful of you really fucked up and you just kept going with it thinking I would never get to the end. It's time to put this to an end. I've waited 9 years. We got Memorial Day coming up and you guys are going to walk into court and try to pull this shit the day after, remembering veterans that died that day. Veterans. Law enforcement officer and veteran. Charles Hatfield. How about Chris Allen? Guys that I watched die. And you guys have been sitting here trying to rip off a disabled veteran for standing up and telling the court that he had video and exposing all of this. I'm the one that exposed Tagliati and her father's relationship. You think that was other people? That was me. And I don't need any fucking credit for it. I don't need any media attention for it. But the media in this country, because they're taking advertising dollars from MGM or threats of lawsuits, they won't even report to the country that I have video. You don't have to believe me. Let's get the video tested. I brought it into court. Nobody went and tested it from MGM to counter it, to tell me it's a fraud. I know it's not. They know it's not. That's why they were doctoring the fucking transcript when I caught them and they admitted something they shouldn't have, and they tampered with the record, an official court record, and took pages out of it. That's why my military medical records were sabotaged. How you gave a big fundraiser for Judge Bell the night before she ruled against me. She was running unopposed. You gave her a bunch of money over the legal limits, and you helped raise a bunch of money for her. So don't sit here and bullshit me or anybody else. The people are waking up to it. You have a duty to preserve those records. You've been put on notice, and MGM and the court have been put on notice. You'll be violating my due process rights. You will be breaking the law, obstruction of justice, tampering with records. And if not, the Bass Davis 2006, that applies too. So we'll go ahead and deal with this in court, but you should walk in like a damn man and own up to it. You've had a great career, but you screwed this one up, and so did MGM, and you all thought you could get away with it and nobody would be the wiser. Not this time. Not on my watch.